Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today I want to show you one of the most scenic approaches that you can actually find. This one is going to be in the Cirrus Vision Jet into Sedona in the USA. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the airfield, and let's start setting up as we are slowly approaching our target descent. So first things first, we're going to start our descent in a few moments, so let's go ahead, setting the altitude down a little bit, so that VNAV can start doing its job while I'm telling you a little bit about the stuff that we're about to do in this flight today. So let's start with the general weather conditions and the general conditions over at Sedona for those of you who are actually not aware. So generally, Sedona is located in a little valley just on a little plateau inside that valley, and today we've got the winds coming from the southeast, which is going to provide a very interesting approach there. Let's have a little look into Sim Toolkit Pro, and you can see we're coming from Las Vegas over here in the Vision Jet, and this is going to be our weather conditions into Sedona. So we have the wind just about shifting around every now and then. Currently it's 290 at 5, it used to be 1403, so you can see it's kind of variable winds today, with a visibility 10 miles, 30 degrees centigrade, and an altimeter setting of 3008. Now let's go ahead and pre-select that, and now I'm going to show you the approach that we are going to fly today. So let's have a look into the only approach procedure that we have available, which is an on-off approach for runway 3, and then we'll have to do circle land for runway 21, so that we'll land with a little bit of headwind component, as the runway itself isn't the longest either. Let's start with a general look at Sedona Airport, and for that I am using the Navigraph charts, which Navigraph is now currently sponsoring me to include with a free ultimate subscription. In any case, Navigraph charts, I can really recommend them. I am using them for years and years now, and in my opinion they are vital for any flights I do in the sim. Okay, so we've got a 5,132 foot runway over here, located on a little plateau. Unfortunately, there are no area charts available over here, so we'll just about have to live with the RNAV approach chart. But you can see the MSA 10,400 feet up there. Let's get that a little bit bigger, and we'll start up with the plan view, which is going to be this. We'll start from Houston, where we're going to head right after Delta Romeo Kilo VOR. And then out of Houston we'll fly the RNAV approach via Exudi and Barmy towards Lomb, and from Lomb we'll have to be visual, and then we'll do a circle land southbound through the valley into a landing direction of 2-1. So promises to get quite interesting. The winds are going to blow up the plateau, so that's going to make our approach even more interesting with the turbulence simulation that we'll find in Simulator over here. So a little look into the profile as to what we're going to do, as we still have to check that our flight plan is actually correct, so we might just about do that now. And from Houston at 9,500, we'll fly on a 033 track for 4.6 miles towards Exudi, and we can see Houston, and then we have 035, 4.6 towards Exudi, so 2 degrees difference, that is acceptable. Descending to an altitude of 8,000. We've got the 8,000 on the chart, and we got them on the system. From there, we continue same track, 3.4 miles towards Barmy, and that's exactly what we have down here. And that's towards Barmy at 7,200, and that's going to be our final approach fix. From there, we continue towards Lomb on a 3-degree descent, and if we look down into the box, we can see we've got a 3-degree descent over here. Alright, at Lomb we either visual or we're not. Our minimums today, let's have a look at that, is going to be 5,740 since we're sitting in a Class Bravo aircraft. So let's quickly go ahead and select those minimums, 5,740, and that's going to be barometric of course. So that minimum is just about 947 feet above the field, and seeing that we are going to do a circle land approach, we might as well keep it at 5,720 over here, but I just want to give myself that little bit margin of those 20 feet so that we don't accidentally descend below the NDA. You know what? We can actually make our life a bit easier, and we're just going to take 5,800. So 5,800, and that's going to make our life easiest. Now a very quick check here as to what our final approach speed is going to be on the status page. We can see at our present weight we have a VREF of 86 knots. So if we take that and go into the utilities, actually no, I want to go to performance, my mistake. And then we can set our speed box. VREF is going to be 86 we said. Yep, 86, and that means our approach speed is going to be 91. And we'll take them both active. Right, that's our speed box set. Now this one says maximum 90 knot. That 1 knot of difference is fine for me. Alright. So that's our approach setup for arrival. Let's go ahead and read the descent checklist, and then we are almost there already. So, descent checks please. Thrust lever as required, the auto throttle is engaged. Landing field elevation, that one's a little bugged unfortunately in the Vision Jet right now, so we're going to ignore that. Ice protection, most certainly off. Altimeter setting, we're approaching 19,000, let's go to local already. 3008 set, passing 19,000 now. Seats and seatbelts secure, and that's our descent checklist complete. Alright, so promises to get a very interesting arrival there. Very quick check over here, we can see MSA 10,400. However, looking outside, we have everything inside already. I'm going to include the link to my Simri flight plan in the video description below. I can absolutely recommend you. Quick trip over from Las Vegas in the Vision Jet here. You can see we're 38 minutes in the air right now, and we're already in our descent, so that's going to make for a nice little 50-minute flight. So nice little evening flight here in an absolutely lovely aircraft with the Zero's Vision Jet. Now, I can certainly recommend you can do this in absolutely any general aviation aircraft that you're going to find in the simulator. So, if you don't like the Vision Jet, then maybe there's something else for you. Also, one quick last comment here, since I know a couple of you will say, hey, what is that strange sound that we hear all the time? Now, that's actually not so strange at all. At least any pilot is going to be able to tell you what that is. And that's the simulation of the active noise reduction from the Bose A20 headset they model here. And no, Bose doesn't pay me to say that, but let's turn that off and see what that looks like. Let's go and turn it back on. Now listen what that looks like. I just love it how they have that model over here with the A20. Really nice. I absolutely love to play around with stuff like that. Alright then, that much for our setup. Let's go back to my standard display layout. Like that and like that. Here we go. Alright. So I see you a little bit further down the line as we start our beautiful and scenic approach into Sedona. Starts getting a little bit turbulent here as we are flying over this ridge. Kinda expected. In conditions like these, we have quite different looking ground there, and the terrain ahead of us is probably going to be much warmer than the terrain that we're just about flying over, not only due to the slope of that mountain, but also due to the different surface structure, which is going to heat up in a different way, and therefore going to provide us with a much warmer infrastructure, and warmer also means more turbulent. Right, we are approaching our intermediate approach fix. Let's select our altitude down to 5,800 for the approach, and then I'm going to arm approach mode in a few moments as we approach the final approach fix balmy, and then we'll start the arm approach on the way in. We can see it's now started to create a path, and that is normally the sign that we can arm approach mode. And indeed, here we go. Glide path is armed. and that's going to provide us guidance all the way in. Right, I've dialed the altitude down. You can see the VNAV system still takes care of everything over here. And this is the beautiful mountains around Sedona coming up. Right then, time to start slowing down. The Vision Jet slows down incredibly well. For that reason I kept the speed up high for so long. But in the Vision Jet, really no problem at all getting your speed back. Targeting 145 knots over here, which is going to be our first approach speed. Okay, approach from balmy. Speed is coming back nicely. And then we should get a glide path capture at any moment soon as well. Okay, in the meantime, really, let's quickly have a look at our checklist. Got the approach checks over here, which are approach mission complete, seats upright, ice protection off, lights are on, and standing by at the flaps. We're below 190, so let's go flaps 50%. Speed is coming back, so let's click that checklist away, and that's all we need. Okay, it's trying to capture that 7,200 feet altitude, but that should mean it should capture the glide path any moment as well. Which it doesn't do. Okay, autopilot off. Let's do it manually. Flight director gone, auto throttle gone. We can see the fuel coming up straight ahead. Then we're going to start our circling towards the southeast in a few moments. You can see how turbulent it's getting over this terrain. And I have already turned my turbulence settings back a little bit here. Ooh, look at that. That's how I like it. Okay, gear down. That should stabilize it a little bit. Normally I would turn back the speed bug right now, but unfortunately it doesn't really let me do that. Because I just need my hands on the controls right now to fly the plane. In any case, we can go flaps 100%. Approaching minimum. 5,800 the circling minimum. Getting the speed back to 90 knots. Then we're gonna start our circling. Note the wind right now, 8 knots straight from behind. Okay, don't descend too far over here. Okay, here we go. Landing checklist. Landing gear down locked, flaps 100%. Cabin pressure differential, it's, yeah, around about 0. We're gonna ignore that little difference there. Windshield, ice protection off, autopilot off, airspeed is set. And that's our before landing checklist complete. Then let's go ahead and start our circling towards the south over here. The big threats for this one, obviously gonna be the rising terrain on the final there, which basically means that we'll have a very good chance for some optical illusions. And who knows, maybe we're gonna encounter some of those a little bit later. In any case, I'm going to talk you through it as I fly it. So first of all, the interesting thing over here, luckily we have a very well-equipped airplane with our G3000 avionics, so optical illusion and maintaining your attitude isn't that much of a problem. But imagine if you were flying a general aviation aircraft that didn't have an artificial horizon, and then imagine what that would look like, and that it would be pretty difficult for you to actually judge what is horizontal flight. Okay then, gonna turn to the left. Now keep in mind that ridge of the airport over there. We got the wind coming from 290 degrees on the arrival, So that's going to be quite a northbound wind, and that northbound wind will mean that we'll be pushed up quite a bit as we're on very short final. And then when we get just above the runway, we'll be losing that additional lift and be pushed downwards. So that's the big thing that we'll face on this one. And that's even with just a little bit of wind there. Beautiful looking terrain, by the way, isn't it? Really is. Okay though, we better make sure we don't fly into this. Start our base turn. Okay, start our descent. The flight path vector on our PFD is certainly going to be very helpful there. So start our turn towards final. Look at the wind arrow on the bottom left of our PFD there. Coming from somewhat across the ridge, so that's gonna get quite turbulent in a few moments. For that reason, I'm flying a little bit faster here, around 100 knots.
500.
Hey, 500 continue. Landing checklist is complete. I just didn't get the chance to actually click it. And here we go. So notice our relation of the pitch to the vertical speed right now as we're going over the mountain ridges. Hey, that is looking good. Coming in nicely over the trees. And now we just gotta grease it down. Power idle. Come on. Okay, here we are. Almost a 3-point landing. Almost. We just about saved it there. Okay, 60 knots. And that's it. We'll let it roll and then vacate next to the right. Alright everyone, I surely hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit different from the kind of content I usually do. But I figured this is such a beautiful approach, I just about need to show it to you. So, be sure to give it a try yourself. The Vision Jet is an absolute joy to fly and just about perfectly made for missions like this. And the scenery as well. You'll find it linked in the video description below so that you know what to look out for. And I surely hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for flying along. If you like what I'm doing, why not hit the subscribe button? Leave a comment, leave a like, as it does really help out the channel. And if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link that you can find in the video description below, or to see you as a channel member. In any case, thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again, hopefully very, very soon.